It started with an email. I remember the exact moment I saw it, sitting at my kitchen table, the late afternoon light slanting across the hardwood floor, a mug of lukewarm tea in my hand. The subject line was clinical, like a tax notice, financial disclosures, urgent. I opened it expecting some routine paperwork, the kind of legal back and forth I'd grown numb to during the wreckage of our divorce. Instead, there it was, plain as day. Send me 3 years' worth of financial documents or you'll be in trouble. No please. No explanation. Just a thinly veiled threat from a man who'd never looked me in the eye, my ex-husband's lawyer. A man named Gerald Klein, who dressed like an undertaker and spoke like a debt collector. I stared at the screen for a full minute before I let myself feel anything. And when I did, it wasn't fear, it was something else. Something colder. The kind of cold that settles in your bones when you realize someone you once loved is willing to ruin you to win a game you never asked to play. So I wrote back 2 words. As you wish. That was 3 years ago. My ex-husband, Jordan, was in the middle of a brutal custody battle with his other ex-wife. Yes, I was wife number 2, and his life was unraveling faster than he could spin a lie. He'd lost his job at the firm, racked up debt gambling, and was sleeping on his younger brother's couch. But rather than face the consequences of his own actions, he told everyone that I'd been laundering money through our shared business, an online boutique I built from scratch while he played entrepreneur with our savings. He lied to his lawyer. And that lie grew legs. What he didn't know was that I'd been keeping meticulous records. Not because I expected this, but because I'm the kind of person who files receipts by color and date. Because my mother used to say, you may not be able to control the storm, but you can control your umbrella. So I gave Gerald Klein exactly what he asked for. 3 years of tax returns, bank statements, business ledgers, PayPal logs, even mileage from deliveries I made myself during the pandemic when we couldn't afford couriers. All neat. All accurate. All legal. I sent it in a binder with tabs. Pink for personal, blue for business, yellow for joint accounts. I might have added a little glitter to the cover, just a touch. Call it pettiness. I call it presentation. What I didn't expect was what happened next. A week later, I got a call from my own attorney, Vanessa. Her voice was pinched with disbelief. Jordan's lawyer just withdrew from the case. What? I asked. Why? He won't say officially, but the rumor is he found inconsistencies in Jordan's statements. And, get this, he thinks you set him up. I laughed. Actually laughed. A big, ugly laugh that startled my dog. Did I? I asked. Vanessa paused. Did you? No, I said. But maybe I should have. The truth was, Jordan had forged my name on a line of credit. I found out when a collection notice came to my address a month after he moved out. That was the first time I realized what he was capable of. The lies didn't surprise me anymore, they were like breathing for him. But the sheer audacity of trying to pin money laundering on me during a custody battle he wasn't even fighting against me? That was a new low. Even for him. But it didn't end there. 2 weeks after Gerald withdrew, I received a manila envelope. No return address. Inside was a USB drive. No note, just a sticky tab with the words, "Play me." I know. It sounds like a bad thriller movie. But I plugged it in. It was a video recording. Grainy, time-stamped. A security camera feed from an office, Jordan's office, back when we still shared space. And there he was. Jordan, talking to someone I didn't recognize. They were hunched over a laptop, whispering. Jordan passed him a folder, then pointed at the screen. The man opened the folder, flipped through papers, then shook his head. Jordan slammed his palm on the desk. The man looked nervous. Then Jordan said, loud enough for the mic to catch it. She's too clean. Make it look like she's moving money offshore. Fake the transfers. I'll pay you when it's done. My stomach dropped. He hadn't just lied. He'd tried to manufacture evidence. Frame me. And he was too stupid, or arrogant, to realize he was being recorded. I called Vanessa immediately. She told me not to breathe a word to anyone. Not yet. What followed was a quiet storm. A legal chess match that played out behind closed doors. And all the while, Jordan thought I was the one on the ropes. He had no idea I was holding the queen. After that video, everything changed. Not all at once, life doesn't do that. It's not a light switch. It was more like a faucet slowly turning on. At first, just a drip. Then a steady stream of chaos. Vanessa called it a gift from the legal gods, but I wasn't celebrating. That USB drive didn't just prove Jordan was lying. It proved he was desperate. Desperate people do stupid things. And Jordan? He was about to outdo himself. We submitted the video to the court, quietly, strategically. Let the judge see it before Jordan even knew we had it. Vanessa wanted the element of surprise. She called it controlled detonation. I called it keeping me from punching a wall. 3 days after the video submission, Gerald, Jordan's now ex-lawyer, filed a motion to distance himself from any prior statements. Apparently, he found out that Jordan had faked not one but 2 financial documents. One was a doctored transaction sheet. The other? A fake offshore account Jordan invented in my name, complete with a domain-registered investment firm that didn't exist. He even bought the website URL. Sloppy. So very Jordan. Then the rumors started. I ran into a former colleague of his at Trader Joe's. She leaned in over a bunch of organic bananas and whispered, "Is it true Jordan's under investigation?" I just smiled and said, "Depends which one." Because yeah, turns out he wasn't just trying to frame me. He was being audited. And I had nothing to do with it. Apparently, lying about your taxes, faking documents, and pulling money out of your 401k to cover gambling debts can only go unnoticed for so long. But that's not even the twist. The twist came 2 weeks later. I was in my car, parked outside my office, scrolling through emails before a client meeting when I saw it. An email from a name I didn't recognize, Erica Mendez. Subject line, "We need to talk about Jordan." I almost deleted it. Thought it was spam. But something made me open it. Inside was one sentence. "You don't know me, but I think we've both been lied to." She included a phone number. Against every ounce of my better judgment, I called. Her voice was calm. Too calm. Like someone who'd rehearsed what they needed to say 1,000 times but still didn't know how to say it. "Hi. I'm Jordan's ex. The original ex. We dated before you. Way before." "Okay. So?" She inhaled. "He's been using my name to open accounts. Credit lines. I just found out he listed me as a partner on a business registration form last year. A business that doesn't exist." I blinked. "Wait, what?" "It gets worse," she said. "I only found out because a debt collector showed up at my parents' house. That's how I found your name." I started digging. And dig she did. Erica had receipts. Literal ones. PDF statements, forged contracts, emails where Jordan signed off as both of us. She even found a shell LLC he registered under a fake alias. He listed me as the co-founder. I nearly vomited. "He's trying to pin this all on you," she said. "But he's been doing this for years. You're not the first. But maybe, you'll be the last?" It took me hours to calm down. I called Vanessa. Forwarded the emails. She nearly dropped the phone. "This is it," she whispered. "This is enough to bury him." But Jordan? He wasn't going quietly. That night, he showed up at my house. Yes. My house. He rang the bell like it was 2015 and we were still married. I didn't answer. I watched through the window as he paced, phone in hand, muttering to himself. Then, he pulled out a binder, my binder. The one I'd submitted to his lawyer. I stepped onto the porch. I don't know why. Curiosity, maybe. He turned, eyes wide. "You set me up," he spat. I folded my arms. "You did that all by yourself." He stepped closer. "You gave them everything. You asked for 3 years of financial records," I said. "So I gave you 4. Just in case." His jaw clenched. "They're going to arrest me." "They should," I said flatly. Then, with a bitter laugh, he said something that made my blood run cold. "You think this ends with me?" I didn't know what he meant. But I would soon. "You think this ends with me?" That's what Jordan said. Standing there on my porch, binder in hand, like it was a shield. Like he was the victim in this story. I didn't respond. I just stared at him, waiting. Daring him to say what he really meant. He leaned in, voice low. Gerald wasn't the only one I lied to. I didn't flinch. But my heart dropped. He went on, slower this time. "You're not the only name I used. Not the only one I set up." I swallowed hard. "What did you do, Jordan?" He looked me dead in the eye. "I told my sister you were the one who ruined the family account. That you stole from Mom after she passed." My stomach turned. His mom had left a modest inheritance, something we all agreed would be split fairly. He'd said the funds were frozen due to paperwork issues. I'd believed him. "She believed me," he said, a sick sort of pride in his voice. "She's been watching you. Just wait." "Wait for what?" He walked away after that, calm. Like he'd just dropped off a package. Left me there shaking on my porch with a growing knot in my stomach. That night, I checked my email. A message from my bank flagged suspicious logins. My password had been changed. Twice. My stomach sank. I didn't panic, I had two-factor authentication, but someone had tried. Someone with just enough information to almost get in. My middle name. My high school mascot. All the things you'd only know if you'd been in my life for years. The next day, I got a call from my accountant. A man named Vince. Friendly, always wore bow ties, never swore. "Hey," he said, too casual. "Weird question, did you authorize someone named Alyssa to access your financials?" I froze. Alyssa? As in Jordan's sister? That's what I figured. She called, said she was your assistant, claimed you were busy with court stuff and needed her to send over your last 5 quarterly reports. I nearly screamed. "No," I said. "Absolutely not. Don't send her anything." Vince whistled. "Didn't think so. She had just enough info to be dangerous. Birthday, address, even your EIN number." That's when it hit me. Jordan had given it to her. He hadn't just lied in court. He was building a new narrative. Behind the scenes. To his family. To anyone who would listen. And Alyssa? She was buying it wholesale. Vanessa told me to stay calm. "This is just the beginning," she warned. "He's unraveling. And people like him? They set fires just to watch the smoke." So I took precautions. I locked every credit report. Changed every password. Moved every dollar I had into a separate institution. Bought a fireproof lockbox. Hid it in my neighbor's shed. Paranoid? Maybe. But not wrong. Then came the biggest blow yet. I got a subpoena. Jordan was filing a civil suit. Against me. Allegedly, I'd committed intentional economic harm and emotional distress. His claim? That by exposing his fraudulent behavior, I'd damaged his reputation and made him unemployable. I laughed. Unemployable? He wasn't working before the scandal. He was freeloading off his brother and betting on crypto like it was monopoly money. Still, I took it seriously. Courts don't play around. Vanessa read the document and sighed. This is a desperation move. He's trying to flip the narrative, make himself the victim. Classic narcissist defense. But will it work? She looked me dead in the eye. Only if we let it. So we countered. And then? The real shock came. A week before the hearing, I received a package. No return address. Just a soft brown envelope with my name typed cleanly across the front. Inside, photos. Dozens of them. Me. In my car. At work. Walking my dog. In line at the grocery store. From a distance. Some blurry, some clear. All recent. I felt cold all over. Was he having me followed? I took the envelope to Vanessa. She flipped through the stack, her mouth a tight line. "This isn't just about money anymore," she said quietly. "He's watching you." We filed a police report. The officer nodded grimly and said what I was already thinking, restraining order. But it didn't feel like enough. The man I'd once married, once loved, had gone full scorched earth. He couldn't destroy my credibility in court, so he'd moved to psychological warfare. But here's the thing about fires, sometimes they burn the one who lit them. And he was about to find out just how hot it could get. Courtrooms are strange places. Cold, sterile, quiet in the wrong ways. Like someone pressed pause on life, and all that's left is the hum of fluorescent lights and the shuffle of paper. I walked into that courtroom with my spine straight, my hands calm, but inside? I was a storm. Because this wasn't just a case anymore. It was him, trying to rewrite the story of us with himself as the poor, broken protagonist. The same man who once kissed my forehead when I couldn't sleep was now trying to convince a judge that I'd ruined his life. He showed up late. Of course he did. Looking like he hadn't slept, tie askew, eyes darting around like he expected someone to run in and save him. No one did. The judge asked for opening statements. His new lawyer, a younger guy with slick hair and zero backbone, stood up and started spinning their sob story. "Mr. Carson has suffered significant emotional trauma due to Ms. Ellison's actions. Public embarrassment, career damage, reputational harm." Vanessa didn't flinch. When it was her turn, she stood slowly. Measured. Controlled. Lethal. "Your Honor, my client is not the villain in this story. She is the survivor of a calculated campaign of fraud, defamation, and manipulation, perpetrated by the very man who now sits here pretending to be the victim. We have evidence of forged documents, recorded conversations, surveillance, and a paper trail of deceit that spans years." I watched the judge's face. He didn't blink, just nodded, as if to say, "Go on." And then the show began. Exhibit A, the USB drive with the office footage. Played on a screen for the whole room to see. Jordan squirmed as his voice echoed off the walls. She's too clean. Make it look like she's moving money offshore. Exhibit B, financial records showing the fake offshore account, with my name forged in digital ink. Exhibit C, a sworn statement from Erica Mendez, his first ex, detailing the identity theft and fake partnerships. And finally, Exhibit D, the photos. Vanessa handed them over without fanfare, watching the judge flip through images of me walking my dog and buying oat milk like I was a fugitive. We didn't claim he took them himself. We didn't need to. The implication was clear. And the judge? He looked up slowly, set the photos aside, and turned to Jordan. Mr. Carson, I need to ask you, are you aware that surveillance of this nature, without a restraining order or legal precedent, is a criminal matter in this state? Jordan opened his mouth, closed it again. His lawyer tried to speak. The judge raised a hand. Don't. I've seen enough. He dismissed the civil claim with prejudice. Meaning Jordan couldn't refile it, ever again. Then the judge added something I didn't expect. I'm referring this case to the district attorney's office for further investigation. I didn't breathe. Couldn't. Vanessa touched my hand lightly. I looked at Jordan. For the first time I saw fear. Real fear. Not annoyance. Not performative frustration. But actual, holy SHT, I've been caught fear. It was delicious. He tried to catch my eye as I stood to leave. I didn't give him the satisfaction. But it wasn't over. 2 weeks later, I got a call. The DA was pursuing charges, fraud, identity theft, and attempted falsification of evidence. Vanessa called it a slam dunk. Meanwhile, Erica and I, we talk now, decided to join forces. Filed a joint civil suit. Won a judgment. Small, but symbolic. But here's the twist. The one I didn't see coming. A letter. Handwritten. From Jordan's mother. It came in a plain envelope. Inside was 2 pages of tight, slanted cursive. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. I thought you were trying to hurt him. I see now he's the one doing the damage. I'm sorry. For everything. I read it 3 times. Didn't know whether to cry or laugh. I didn't write back. I didn't have to. Because sometimes, the apology isn't for you, it's for them. A desperate attempt to rewrite a different kind of history. As for me? I moved. New place. New city. Bought a little cottage with wide windows and an overgrown garden. The kind of house where you can breathe without checking over your shoulder. I still keep that binder. The one with the tabs and glitter and pain. Not because I need it anymore, but because it reminds me of something. Never underestimate a woman with receipts. And never, ever, try to burn down her life if you're the one standing in gasoline.